So this is Dhruv Maharaj turns home. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Abhivandya Pitu Pada Asirbhischa Vimandrita Nana Matarau Sisna Satkrita Satchanagrani Abhivandya Pitu Pada Asirbhischa Vimandrita Nana Matarau Sisna Satkrita Satjanagrani Abhivandya Pitu Pada Asirbhischa Vimandrita Nana Matarau Sisna Satkrita Satjanagrani. So anybody wants to read this verse? Mataji's, Prabhuji's, you are most welcome.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat pranam.
Can I go? Can I
Yes, Prabhuji.
read it?
Yes, please.
Abhivanda pitu padho ashirvishchi abhimantri mantrita nama namatara shirshana Satkrita Sajjana Graniya. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Can I try?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Vivanda pitu padau ashirvischa vimantritaha nanama mataro shishna satkritaha sajjanagranihi. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji, I am also trying.
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Abhivanda pitu padau ashirvischa abhimantritaha nanama mataro shishna satkrita sajjanagrani. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Anybody wants to? Okay, so anybody wants to read word meaning?
Yes, I can, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Abhivandaya, worshipping Pitu of his father, Padu, the feet, Ashirvi with benedictions, Cho and Ubhimatrita was addressed. Nanama, he bowed. Mataru to his two mothers. Sirsana with his head. Satkrita was honored. Satjana of the nobles. Agrahanita, the foremost. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So anybody wants to read translation?
Yeah, I'll try, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Then Dhruva Maharaj, the foremost of all nobles, first of all offered his obeisances at the feet of his father and was honored by his father with various questions. He then bowed his head at the feet of his two mothers. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anybody wants to go for a purport?
Can I try?
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
It may be purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It may be questioned why Dhruva Maharaj offered his respect not only to his mother but also to his stepmother, due to whose insult he had to leave home. The answer is that after achieving perfection by self-realization and seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Chaitanya therefore says that one has to be humbler than the grass, and he recommends more tolerant than the tree to execute devotional service. Dhruva Maharaj, therefore, as in this verse has been described as Sajjana Graniha, the foremost noble man. The pure devotee is the noblest of all and has no feelings of animosity towards anyone. Duality due to animosity is the creation of this material world. There is no such thing in the spiritual world, which is the absolute reality. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devi saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudhirave. Nashtapraya subhadresu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavad bhakti uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmiltamena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. I am stopping the screen. Now we will discuss the points. So we have been reading the verses in this chapter about the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj. So if you go back to the beginning and up to this point, so we have been learning so many instructions in the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj. If you go back, so when he was insulted by his stepmother, so he didn't take it very seriously in negative way. So he took it very positive way, and he approached Lord to get whatever his desires to fulfill. So in this way, we have to get the instruction from the beginning. That means how we have to take instructions, whether to take in a negative way, whether to take in a positive way. And after that, he went to forest and he was searching for the Lord, and he didn't know what to do. So that time, so his spiritual master Narada Muni appeared and he gave some instructions. That time also, Narada Muni tried to convince to get him back to kingdom, because this is not age to perform severe austerities. So this is the age to play. So he convinced in many ways, but because of the determination, so he got the mercy of his spiritual master Narada Muni, and he performed so many austerities. So here also we got instruction. So to do the austerity, to go advance in the spiritual path, you have to be determined. And also he pleased the Lord by austerity. So that also one instruction for the devotees, how to do our worship. So we have to follow some austerities, some penances to achieve Lord's mercy. That is also one instruction. After that, when he was pleased the Lord and he got some mercy, by that time, so he completely transformed into pure devotee. So by the touch of Lord's. And here also we got the message that we have to be determined, we have to be go for severe austerity to please Lord. It is not for our sense gratification, it is to please Lord. So he did such a severe austerity to please Lord. And also while he was returning, he was repenting so much about, so what I have go for Lord, what I have asked. So I have gone for the broken piece of glass, but that I got the diamond. I should not ask like that. So from this also we got some instruction that what desire to ask, what we have to desire, what we have to ask for the Lord. So we are advanced in the spiritual path. So these are some instructions we have been receiving in these verses. Here also in this verse, so we can see two things. Prabhupada is explaining before Dhruva Maharaj how he was, And after transformation, how he is behaving. We can see the behavior of Dhruva Maharaj here. So before, so he was in an angry mood. He was in a challenging mood. So I was insulted. I have to become a great so that I can um, uh, I can face the challenges. So in that mood he went, but completely he changed. So yesterday also Prabhuji, he was mentioning that even though the mother, she was so envious. She was ordering Brahmaras go away. So take shelter of Lord. So in that way, so but he with in a humble mode, he took it in a positive way. Even though she ordering in an envious way, he took it in a positive way. So that's why he achieved the perfection. So here also, the Dhruva Maharaj completely transformed. The behavior also changed. His conscience also changed a lot. Now he became a very pure devotee. After returning, so first he bowed down to his father, and also not only his mother, Suniti, so also bowed down to the feet of stepmother, Surichin. So why it is happening? What is the reason? Why is behaving like that? So Prabhupada explained 2 points. So he is above the duality. So that's why he conquered the duality, the material contamination by the touch of Lord. So he completely in the pure devotion. When you are situated in the pure devotion, you can conquer the nature of duality. So the same way, the Romaraj also here he conquered the duality and he bowed down even though she did something wrong to him. So he completely transformed because of humble nature, and he became so because of that humble nature, he bowed down to his stepmother also. Here we have to understand about duality. Today we will discuss about the duality. What is duality? Why? What are the reasons to get the duality? And what are the consequences and how to overcome in a 3-step way? First of all, if you say, what is duality? In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna, he emphasized on this point in so many chapters, like 2nd chapter, 7th chapter, 15th chapter, especially the word duality, Dvandva. So, if you see those verses in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 45 verse, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavajana Nirdvandvo Nistatato Yoga Kshema Atmavan. So here, Lord Krishna is saying that Arjuna, so don't go for the flowery words of the Vedas. Vedas mainly deal with the these tri modes, tri gunas, 3 modes of materialism. So anybody wants to say what are the 3 modes?
Shaktarajatama.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, thank you. So here Krishna is saying Arjuna, don't be in this material contamination. So transcend above these 3 natures, sattva, rajo, tamo guna. So there is a visuddha tattva. So above the goodness, mode of goodness, there is a visuddha tattva. So in order to achieve the perfection, you have to be situated in that tattva and free from the dualities and establish in the self. And also here he is saying that duality means that it is coming arised due to the so animosity, that means enviousness. So overcome this. And now we will talk more about duality. What is duality? Anybody wants to give a small thing about duality? How you define it? How you want to see duality? What is duality? Anybody?
Mataji, duality is the existence of the 2 things. I mean, in this material world, everything is relative in the sense good is there because bad is there. We can compare good and bad.
Yes.
Cold is there, hot is there. So we can we can realize cold as against the hot. And
Yes.
similarly, in the same way, in every sphere, light and darkness, the same way.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And
Yes, you
these
are
are
right.
the existence of dualities in the material.
Yeah. So actually, so because when we are with, actually, we are parts and parcels of Lord. When we are with Lord, so everything is happy, everything is love. When we come to this material world, we are touched by three modes. Then automatically these three things like envious, jealous, anger, these are the material contaminations. Actually, they develop in us because of these three modes. Then we cannot see actual absolute reality. So what is actual? Because we are in the duality. We are not in a reality. We are in duality. What is duality? We can see everything in two different ways. When we start something, we see if we get gain or loss. We get success or failure. So in the same way, winter season, summer season, hot, cold. So we just worrying about when the summer comes, it is too hot, winter comes, it is too cold. And so we worry all the times about when we get happiness, and so sometimes we get, we don't want to get the worries, but we get. So we always in the duality. So happiness, sad, so success, failure, gain, loss. So in this verse also 2.45, so Bhagavad Gita Krishna says that transcend above the modes, be from the duality. Anxiety comes from the gain and loss. Because you are thinking that it is happy and sad. So you're always anxious about it. You are always sad, worry about it, tension about it. So it may be sad for me. Today it will be, I'm going to be get any bad news. So like that, you're always anxious. So you have to transcend all this duality. So this is mainly because actions and reactions performed on the bodily platform. So here Prabhupada is explaining the reasons for this, because we are looking everything on the bodily platform, we get the duality. We are not seeing the absolute platform reality. So and we are forgetting our constitutional position. That is the main reason. So in this verse, he is saying that we have to tolerate. So Krishna is advising Arjuna in many, many verses. We have to tolerate happy and sad. You have to tolerate the dualities. Then only you have to come to the neutrality. And in the also 7.27, Krishna is saying that Ichcha Dvesha Samuttena Dvanda Mohena Bharata Sarva Bhutani Sammoha Sargeyanti Parantapa. So all living entities are born with duality, that delusion, born with delusion and bewildered by duality arising from desire and hate. We can see that duality means desire and hate. Everything comes from these two only. You desire something, if you don't get, you hate it. So you start desiring things and you start hating things. So that's why these dualities come. So in this verse also 7.27, Krishna is saying that so all living entities already they are in the delusion. Delusion means illusion, maya, moha. So I have to come out. I am a master of this house. I am master of this country. Woman, man, poise, impoise, good, bad, pleasure, pains. Somebody wants victory and they defeat. So this is my house. This is my country. So this is my wife. So that means they are in the delusion. Why delusion comes? Anybody wants to say? What is the reason for the delusion?
False
Because
ego, Mataji.
Yes,
False ego.
Prabhuji.
False ego.
Ego. Yes, Prabhuji. And anything else?
Because of
Desire for
ignorance.
sense gratification.
Sense gratification. Yes, Mataji. Yes.
because we
Ignorance.
see everything in relation to our bodily platform, and
Yes.
that causes the real
Yes.
duality.
Yeah. So it causes some attachment. You want that more and more. So that is the fruitive work. We do something and we wait for results, fruitive results. So that's why these material things, material contaminations, mainly because of our actions and reactions, because of our desires and attachments. So in that attachment, the delusion comes. And Krishna also explains in 2.63 what are the consequences when you get the delusion. So in these verses 2.45 and 2.27, we understood what are the reasons for the duality. Duality mainly because of the delusion. If you are under the delusion, moha, so you can see so many things. You can fall into so many things. First of all, illusion, false pride. So I am the proprietor. So I am doing everything. I am the doer. So we forgot our relation with the Lord. So what is the Sanatana Dharma? So Sanatana Dharma is we are the servants of Lord. So once you are situated in that position, you are servant of Lord, everything you can see in real. There is no real duality. And when you are separated from this concept of Sanatana Dharma, I am the eternal servant of Lord. So if you forgot your constitutional position, eternal identity, so then the things go down. It gets worse because you already are touched with a material contamination, that is illusion, envious, jealous, so many other things which are not favorable for the spiritual advancement. In 2.63, Krishna is explaining that, so क्रोधाद्भव सम्मोह सम्मोह स्मृतिभ्रंशः स्मृतिभ्रंशो बुद्धिनाशा बुद्धिनाशा प्रणश्यति. Here the Krishna is giving what are the consequences when you are in the delusion. What is the reason for the delusion? If you get anger, because you are attached to some things, because you are in the duality, you are attached to something, you get the delusion, moha. So you don't know what is good, what is bad. Krodadbhava sammoha, sammoha smritibhramsaha. Smritibhramsaha, you lose your memory. So you are not in a position to think what is good and what is bad. Smritibhramsa buddhinasa. What happens? After that, you lose your buddhi, intelligence. So you are tend to do so many abominable things, so many sinful reactions. Not even you are worrying about killing others. So up to that extent, you degrade because you are in the delusion. So these are the consequences given by Lord himself in 2nd chapter. And if you go further, how to overcome this delusion, duality? So we always think, so something good, something bad. So we because we are not connected to Krishna, we are separated from Krishna. That means we forgot the knowledge of we are servants of Krishna. So that's why we are always in the delusion. So we think we are right, sometimes wrong, good, bad, all this duality. So Krishna is saying that we have to overcome this duality in order to advance in spiritual path. So in the 7.28, Krishna is saying that Esam ka antakatam papam dhyananam punya karmana te dandamoho vimukta bhajante mam drudavruta. So here it is saying how to overcome. What is the prime requirement for the transcendental knowledge? So to overcome the duality. It's a very nice verse, very famous verse also. Here, Prabhupada is explaining so nicely. So what are the reasons? So what are the reasons? How to overcome this? What are the qualifications you require to go in advance spiritual things? Some foolish people, so cheating people, sinful, who has done the sinful reactions, they cannot advance in Krishna consciousness. They cannot overcome the duality mainly. So as long as you are in the duality, you cannot understand Krishna. So you have to overcome the duality. Then only you can see you can knowledge, you can get the knowledge of Krishna and you can advance in the spiritual path. Here it is saying that, so esanta antagatam papam jnananam punya karmanam. So here we have to see the people so who are acting piously in this life and previous life. They are eligible for the spiritual advancement to know this knowledge. They can overcome the duality. The second one, those who are free from the sinful actions and reactions. Here, this is very, very heavy word, sinful reactions. So even in the letter of devotion, Srila Goswami mentioned that the sinful reactions, if you take the bhakti cult at any stage, your sinful reactions will be burnt. Why we do sinful reactions? What is the reason for the sinful reaction? Anybody? What is the main reason?
Because we hanker after the material satisfaction. Because of the
Yes.
satisfaction,
Yes.
we get that. And we do the sinful activities.
Yes, Prabhuji. So sinful activities means because we are lacking the knowledge of Krishna. And in that knowledge, so if the lacking of knowledge means we are in ignorance. So with the ignorance, we can face so many problems like a duality, so envious, jealous, so many other things. I have to overcome it. Here, the sinful reactions in devotion, nectar of devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami mentioned that, so you can burn up these sinful reactions, you can burn up the ignorance at any stage by taking the cult of bhakti. So that is very, very important point we have to understand. So the root cause is ignorance. So we have to avoid that ignorance by taking bhakti process at any stage. So don't think, so I'm too small, I'm in a middle age, I'm too old. So no need to think all these. You can take bhakti process at any time. You can get perfect. So mainly you will be away from the delusion. Then you can know what is the real, what is the reality, what is the absolute truth. And here also, it is also saying, Tedvanda Moha Nirmukta. We have to be free from the duality. So this is another eligibility. First of all, we have to act piously, punya karmana, in this life and previous lives. And also we have to act in a way that, so we have to follow the regulated principles, have to follow that one, and we have to take a good association. That is also very, very important. And we have to free from the duality and delusion. And then what is Krishna is saying? Bhajante mam drudavrita. If you are doing so, if you are eligible, if you are getting these qualifications, you are eligible for bhakti, then you can do my bhakti with determination. So if you see the 9 process of that steps of devotion, so you can see anartha nivritti and nishtha. The next stage is nishtha. If you are free from the anartha nivritti, that means material contamination. So there we get the duality. So we have to away from the duality. The next step is determination. Nishtha, you get the nishtha. So this is very, very crucial step in the devotion. As that means detached from the material thing, and attachment for the lotus feet is happening, especially between these 2 steps. So Krishna also saying the same. Esam tvam antagatam papam jnananam punya karmanam edvanda moha vimukta bhajante mam drudavrita. So this is very, very famous verse, and Krishna is giving. So just be away from the duality. Then you are eligible for the bhakti. So that you can be free from the false pride. And also Krishna is giving very, very nice instruction in 15.5. What is that? Nirmana moha jita sanga dosa Adhyatmanitya vinivritta kama dvandvai vimukta sukha dukkha sangai gachanti moha padamavyagam tam. So here he is giving so many examples. Those who are free from false prestige, nirmana. Mana means false ego. You have to give away that false ego. And moha, that means illusion, delusion. You are in the illusion. You have to away from the delusion. False prejudice. You have to away from the false association. Jita sanga dosha. False association. So anybody can tell what is false association?
Just taking us away from Krishna.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
The association of the people, those who are not in the line of devotional service.
Yes, that is also correct. Yeah. Anybody else?
Those who are materially attached, and those who are materially attached, we should avoid their company.
Yes, yes. So these points are mentioned in Nectar of Instruction in 2 verses, in do's and don'ts, second and third verses. So that is very, very important. We have to give up the association of material, mundane association, that is material people. Here, Prabhupada is explaining in this verse, particularly 15.5. So, false association means not only with mundane people. So, you think this is my home, this is my society, this is my nation, this is my country. So, that is also false association, thinking like that. So, you are always thinking about the nation, you are always thinking about the society. So, if this way, if you are thinking in this way, so that means also it is also false association. You are not in a proper path. You are degraded from the path, and it is demotivated for the spiritual advancement. That's why even in Bhagavatam 5.52, Mohat Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimukta Tamodvaram Yoshitam Sangha Sangam. That means we have to render service. If you want to get the liberation, you have to take a proper sangha, proper association. You have to render service to the sadhus. So that is, it's a mohat sevam. So you have to serve. You have to render service to the pure devotees, the association. And also you have to avoid thamodvaram, which is in ignorance. You have to avoid the false association. So these 2 are very important. That's why you see so many pure devotees like Maharajas, sadhus, they travel so worldwide. They cannot stay at one place. They travel from one place to other. So by their association, we get liberated. What is the motive of their travel? Anybody wants to comment? Why they travel? Sadhus, they cannot stick to one place.
Yeah, because by the association of the great devotee, people get out of these material conditions. By
Yes.
seeing them, they become purified.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes. Yeah, that is very good point. Here, actually, in this verse 5.52 in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is saying that so they travel mainly to get rid of our duality, to get rid of our delusion. So we are in the delusion, so many anxieties, so many angries, and so many envious, which are not good for the spiritual path. We are in that condition. In order to free us from these material contaminations like duality, delusion, all these, so they travel, and with their presence, automatically we get purified. So mainly for our purification, they travel from one place to other. So, and they liberate the sinful living entities, fallen souls. They give liberation for the fallen souls. They give liberation means, what is the liberation actually? What is the liberation, Prabhuji?
Liberation from birth, death, and disease.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, correct. Yeah. And anything else?
Being situated in our original position.
Yes, that is also correct. So when you can situate, Prabhuji. So that is correct. When you can situate in that original position, when it is possible. We have been discussing these verses. What is the prime reason, prime factor?
When we attach with bhakti, when we attach with Krishna.
Yes. So when it happens, Mataji, so in order to situate in that position, in order to attach that position.
When
so
we start our sadhana bhakti.
Yeah, when we can start sadhana bhakti. Actually, it starts from nishta.
Association.
Yeah, that association also correct. So anything else?
Association, shraddha, that's stages.
Yeah.
When we hear from the devotees, when we hear
Yes,
from the good
yes.
pure devotees, when we associate.
Yes. So all your points are correct, Mataji. So in order to come to that stage, so we have to away from the material contaminations. Unless and until you are with the material, tinge of material things, you cannot advance. So that's why these sadhus, they go here and there and they deliver us from this delusion, from the duality. Actually, that is the reason they travel from one place to other. And also in this verse 15.5, the Krishna also saying that we have to be under, so you understand the eternity, knowledge of the Krishna, and you should be unbewildered, and you should know how to surrender also.
Yeah, there is
So
Shraddha.
yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. Shraddha.
Sorry, Mataji.
Yes, it's okay.
Shraddha means Sharanagati is the next step.
Yes, yeah. So you come to that stage when your dualities, your contaminations completely freed. So when that stage comes, automatically you get attached. So no need to endeavor. So you already liberated. So liberation means you are free from the material contaminations. That is the definition for liberation. So automatically you are in a Sthita Prajna stage. So you are in a Brahmabhuta stage automatically. When you are away from these contaminations, you are in the Brahmabhuta stage. Automatically your path will be gradual. So that means there is no distractions. You are in the pure stage. So first of all, you have to think, I am not the proprietor. Lord Krishna is the proprietor. So everything belongs to him. I am just servant. You have to be in that mode. And in that mode, if you serve him, so automatically you will be perfected. In Krishna, again and again in 2.45 and 2.14, so he is telling us, again and again, you had to tolerate dualities. What is 2.4? He's saying in Matras versus the Kaunteya, Sitoshna Sukha Dukkada, Agama Payano Stanti Kiksava Bharata. You have to tolerate these dualities. This is non-permanent, appearance and disappearance of happiness and distress, just like a summer and winter. You have to tolerate. You have to learn to tolerate. That is very important instruction given by Lord Krishna. So exactly in 2.41 also, Bhagavad Gita 2.41, Krishna is saying that Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunanta bahusakayananti sa buddhaya vyavasayanam. That means, so your path of resolute purpose should be aimed. Should be the aim should be resolute purpose. It's not like we should not aim for multiple things. Your aim should be one. That is on Lord Krishna. That resolute purpose should be aimed at Krishna. So then when you come to that point, if you are free from the delusions, if you are free from the dualities, can come to that point. You get the single aim, not multiple aims, going for this, worship for this demigod, worship for that demigod, so many desires. So you can be free from this, and your aim is focused. So we'll be situated in a perfect path of spiritual things. So this is one thing, 2.41. And also in the same words, Prabhupada is explaining, in order to come to that humble stage, Dhruva Maharaj completely transformed. Before he was in the challenging mode, now he is in the humble mode. That transformation is because of bhakti, devotional service. That is the only thing we can be away from these dualities and delusions. There is no other way. So, and also Prabhupada explains like Sishtastakam third verse, Nadapi Sanichena, Tarorapi Saishnana, Manina Manadena, Kirtaneya Sadahari. So, if you in a humble mode, you have to tolerate then the tree. If you see the tree, it bears winter too cold, it bears summer too hot, and so it bears, it tolerates, and you have to be humbler than. So you have to think yourself so insignificant, tucha, nicha. So like a grass. So you can walk on the grass. If you are walking on the grass, it bends. So you cannot rise up. Why you are stepping on me? So you should be like that. So if you see Chaitanya Charitamrita, so Goswamis, whenever they want to go to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, always they keep a grass in their mouth and they go. That means we are tucha, we are low, we are servants, we are your humble servants. In that mode, they go to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they pray for Mahaprabhu. So we have to be in that mode, humbler mode. So here also we can see Dhruva Maharaj completely transformed to humble mode, from the challenging mode to humble mode. And because this is happened by the grace of Lord, of course, and by the doing devotional service. And also Prabhupada explaining that duality arises due to animosities. Now Dhruva Maharaj is completely free from that duality. He doesn't want any kingdom. He doesn't want any fame. So he is completely in the absolute reality. Then only he can understand. So any living entity can understand Krishna. That means true knowledge when they serve Lord in a humbler mode. So in order to come to that humbler mode, we have to free from all these dualities and delusions and material contaminations. So these are the things I realized from these words. And the first of all, we discussed what are the reasons for the duality and what are the consequences of duality and how to overcome these. So here I will stop now. And today also there is a disappearance yes, of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Gadadhar Pandit. So they're great. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is a great Vaishnava. So Gadadhar Pandit is an internal potency of Lord, always served. He never led Jagannath Puri, taking the orders of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I have to pray for them to get the mercy or the blessings so that we can advance in our spiritual. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So if you have any additions, anything to add?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, you have clearly made us understand the duality and how to overcome the duality or animosity to a real state of Vasudeva state, and how this Dhruva Maharaj changed the state by the touch of the counsel from the Lord.
Yes.
So this is a very beautiful transformation of Dhruva Maharaj, and from there we can understand the way we need to behave ourselves in this material world and how to transcend ourselves to the Vasudeva state, so that we become above the goodness state. And in that state only we become, as mentioned in 12.41, 13:14. Advishta sarvabhutena maitra karuna evacha nirmano nihankara samadukha sukha sami. So that state comes when we rise from this duality to
Yes.
Vasudev states.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, it's nicely mentioned. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, we still got a few minutes. Anybody like to have any clarification, comment, realization, reflection? Please share it. Thank you. Doesn't seem to be sure, but thank you very much for giving this enlightening class this morning, especially on transformation of Dhruva Maharaj and his stepmother. Even she also changed. That's amazing.
Yes.
From being envious to embracing her stepson. Such a great transformation.
Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj, for enlightening us.
Mm.
By grace, Savitri Mataji ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakti, God Family Hari Bo, Vanchakarpadurvescha, Kripa Sindhuvecha, Patitam Pavnibhyo, Vaishnavibhyo, Namo Krishna ki jai, God.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.